Today we have on James Wehr, owner of the largest weekly car show in the world, South OC Cars and Coffee, and Supercars by the Sea. James also runs his own media company that handles brand development for companies like 1016 and VF Engineering. He's the most American Australian you've ever met and lives and breathes supercars. This is Supercar Connection. This is the Supercar Connection podcast, bringing you behind-the-scenes conversations from across the industry. If you love supercars, you're in the right place. So let's hit it.
What all goes into the umbrella of James's businesses? Who is?
Cool. Okay, so I own South OC Cars and Coffee, co-own it. My dad's the other owner. Same thing with Supercars by the Sea, which is another big show that we had started that is on a brief hiatus. I own Wehr Media LLC, and then I do a bunch of other shit as well. But focusing on those three, that's pretty much the broad spectrum of what I do. Most of Wehr Media is honestly dealing stuff with 1016. Like Peter threw me a huge chunk of that. I was like, hey, run this,
right? Which
is great. I do manage all of our sales, all of our marketing, basically the front end, who 1016 is. And then I do marketing with VF Engineering. We do activations with my company, Cars and Coffee. We did Red Bull last year. We did Audi like maybe 3 weeks ago. We did McLaren. We've done Volkswagen, Corvette. We launched the C8. We did all the launch campaigns for that.
That's fucking crazy.
So stuff like that. So
that sounds pretty sweet.
It's fun shit.
Yeah, honestly, you enjoy that, huh?
Yeah,
how could you not?
No, it's stuff that I get to do. You know, I don't ever wake up and feel like I have to work. You know, it's like this is stuff that I get to do.
Yeah.
You know, this is I was going to school for computer science and cybersecurity, and COVID hit, and I'm like, you know what? Like this shit sucks. Like, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I'd been into photography for a while, and kind of just everything had spiraled from there. You know, I started Cars and Coffee with my dad when I was in high school. I was a senior when we launched that.
How old are you?
24.
Jeez.
Okay, you're killing it.
So thank you. I appreciate it. So yeah, we launched that, and it'll be 8 years in next April. So we just did a 7-year mark. So it's been great, man. It's been fucking awesome. And then all the other stuff that I have from that has been, has kind of grown, inflated rapidly thanks to Cars and Coffee. And it's crazy. Like this little free car show that we host has been opening up a whole lot of doors.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So
the people that like come in and you bring in and stuff like that, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh no, it's fantastic. I mean, we get to meet the coolest people. We did an episode with Disney Plus, The World According to Jeff Goldblum. That was hosted at Cars and Coffee. It was an episode. So that whole show essentially is like the world through the eyes of Jeff Goldblum, the actor. And this episode was on coffee. And the whole like first half of the show was like how coffee and cars kind of go hand in hand, and what we had built. And dude, that was crazy. Like getting to meet people like that. Obviously like the big YouTube celebrities, like the DDE guys, Tavarish, Matt Watson from the UK, all that kind of stuff. And then all the people that I've met that I do business with, that I get to meet more people through, you know, like with 1016, like we do stuff with Scott Disick, like from the Kardashians, we do stuff. I meeen, just like all these crazy celebrities,
stuff with
like,
all sorts of people with them.
We do stuff with Lil Baby. We do stuff with like all these crazy artists.
Sith Lord Chamba?
Yeah, Sith Lord Chamba. Yeah, that guy's, dude, he has the coolest car collection.
Oh yeah,
that guy's collection is just nuts, and all of his stuff. He's such a good supporter of 1016. Like he's a great customer. He has a Urus Perf of ours. I think he has stuff on. I'm not sure if he has. Yeah, he has a Cullinan. I'm not sure if that's ours or if it's Novatech, but
cool dude.
1016 Urus, 1016 SPJ, 1016. I think he did like an F8 or an SF90 with us. Like, but he's done a lot of stuff. He's on his second Urus. His dog ate it. Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
His German Shepherd pup, he destroyed. Like, I was at RDB, like, I think a day or two after it happened, and I was just looking at the front of it. I'm like, oh, shit.
That's only some Chamba dog shit, though. That's it.
Yeah, for real.
Chamba has a dog that'll tear through a 1016 kit.
Yeah. Dude, it's so funny. I've actually never met the guy in person, but like we followed each other on Instagram for a while, and he's built. I know that he and Peter know each other really well, but
let me tell you, he's exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah,
he's even crazier.
Well, I've seen his cars at Cars and Coffee. Like I know that he's come and stuff, but I don't think I've ever like seen the guy. Maybe I've met him, but I haven't had like a real conversation with him. You know, but
I don't think
I don't
think you've met him. I don't know that you forget that you met him.
Yeah. No, dude, he's crazy.
Chamba makes himself known.
Yes, very much so. We pulled up to the crib, we shot in the garage, and we were chilling. The first thing we walked in, he's like, He's like, why are we not drinking?
Dude, that's crazy.
He's
And you
like,
know, I almost brought tequila with me. I should have. I'd been fucking sick.
That's what I'm saying. We literally pulled up. He's like, I'm gonna bring the Class A out. And next thing you know, like, he had his little bar card thing. We're pouring up. It was a whole.
Oh,
Class
fuck,
A and
that's
Squirt.
great.
Yeah, literally.
Class A and Squirt. Oh, that
Class A
sounds like
and
an
Squirt.
insane combo.
No,
Yeah,
it's
how
so
crazy
good.
is
That's like the best soda. I swear. We have a drink called Lift in Australia, which is like almost identical to Squirt.
Yeah.
Everyone goes nuts over that.
Have you ever had a cactus cooler?
I have not. No.
Oh.
I've heard it's good though.
What about cactus cooler? You on that?
I've never had a fucking. I've
Really?
never had a fucking cactus cooler.
Dude, I've seen it. I've seen that before, and I don't think I've ever had it.
It's pretty good. Ben Suka put me on the cactus cooler,
Really?
so you know it's good.
Dude, that's a crazy drink. Yeah, I think I've drank enough in my
Yeah, give-
lifetime.
You put a little cactus cooler in tequila, that'd probably be pretty hot too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Weirdly, not car question, but what are some of your favorite like American things that you've tried that you're like, I can't believe I've ever lived my life without this?
Like food,
Anything that's American that you're just like, fuck, man, we're doing this right.
fucking patriotism. I love being an American. Yeah, you know, that kind of stuff. That's a tough question. I mean, I think just the culture here in general. I mean, like stereotypical American food, like pizza. Pizza's Italian, but like, you know, American burgers,
pizza is
like
pretty
American
American.
pizza, like, you know, like Chicago style pizza. Like, don't get me started. I put on some weight, you know.
I love New York pizza. You know, there's a
Oh, the
Geno's.
thin crust.
Yeah, there's a Geno's up by me, which is like true Chicago pizza. Like Geno's is from Chicago.
Is that the one that's in New Laguna? There's one in Laguna. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe
Right on PCH.
Yeah, maybe they added one in Laguna.
They might have.
The one I'm thinking of is up in Studio City.
Yeah, dude, that place is crazy. If it's hold on, I'm doing some research.
Look it up.
I'm like 99% sure there's a Geno's in Laguna.
Because how
Beach.
often are you up in LA now?
Like 3-4 times a week.
Easily?
Yeah,
You pop in and pop out though.
yeah. Oh, sorry, it's Gina's.
Geno's
Is in Laguna Beach.
Ah, they're trying to get you.
Yeah, they're trying.
So there's Geno's. Oh, dude, this shit looks.
Geno's East is like
Shit looks
one.
good.
It's like one of the most famous spots in Chicago. And then they started, you know, dropping them around the country in random
Yeah.
places because why not?
Yeah.
And they dropped one weirdly on Riverside in Studio City. It's a very strange place to drop like the LA Geno's.
Yeah.
But it's there.
I feel like all of LA, there's just like weird kind of pop-up restaurants. There's a lot of very interesting stuff. But that's one of the things I love about LA as well, like the food and the culture and just like, it doesn't matter what you want. You want like Asian food, you want American food, you want Italian, you want whatever you want. Like you look it up, oh cool, like this place is like a minute down the road, you know?
Yeah.
Great.
It's the whole
Everything's so good.
everything's fucking right next to each other too. Because you get to a point where like some people care about location and it's important, but it's sometimes
Yeah.
some people are like, no, I'll open up here, I'll make it work, and then people will literally come to those locations no
Yeah.
matter what it is.
Oh, for sure.
Like I imagine that Geno's place, even though it's on Riverside, it's fucking popping.
Yeah, people come.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting little like hole in the wall spots that people will travel far and wide to. Like, I mean, like look at Earth Cafe. Like that place is everywhere. Aside from the one at Melrose, there's a lot of really
But
random.
why is
like, Earth
anyone
locations.
going? If you come to LA, don't
Don't
waste
go to
your
Earth.
time at Earth Cafe.
Don't
No.
waste our Earth Cafe.
No, I agree.
Don't be like James.
It's no, it's so overrated. Hey man, you know what?
Hey,
The one in Laguna Beach is okay, but I'm not waiting 45 minutes for some
Earth
shit
Cafe
coffee.
is
Yeah.
like
a
it's
panini.
just writing the early 2000s. Like you saw it in Entourage all the time, and it
Yeah.
was like, oh, Earth Cafe. It's like that was a long time ago.
mac and
don't
cheese
worry
is
about
slept on. Mac and cheese is slept on, and the mango
It is-
pineapple
mac and cheese
smoothies.
is
You know what?
slept on,
Those are really
yeah.
good.
Okay,
But everything else is like, you know, I can't see myself driving 45 minutes or an hour to an Earth just to get like a smoothie and whatever else and a panini.
before I do that.
And then, well, it's all for the clout though. Like everyone wants to take a photo of like the little green umbrellas and the
Oh, for
table with
sure.
the holes in it. Everything falls.
so if you're gonna spend 40 minutes in a supercharged R8, it's not that bad, right?
Yes, that is true. That is true. I should have brought that tonight.
Well-
that car is actually undergoing surgery right now.
Oh, what kind of
just
surgery?
Routine maintenance. I've
Routine?
driven the absolute piss out of that car. It just crossed 60,000 miles.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah, 60,000 miles.
That's
Yes,
awesome.
with the VF supercharger on it. Has a full 1016 kit. Really nice set of HREs on it. It's lowered. Like I've done everything to that car. Has a carbon-tastic steering wheel, which I absolutely love.
Dude, it's set up. It's set up right.
How has your experience been with that platform? 60,000 miles.
Solid. I
Solid,
have
really?
not had one single problem with that car. That car has been more reliable. Like I've had 3 or 4 Panameras now. It's been more reliable than that. I've had a bunch of Camaros. It's been more reliable than that. It's been more reliable than literally any car that I've ever owned.
You think
For the
that
money as well, like, dude.
is the R8 the
Right.
most reliable supercar out there?
R8 and Huracan. They're
Yeah.
both, I mean,
Well,
same car.
right.
I think I will I would imagine so. Yeah.
Yeah.
From my experience, yes.
Those V10. I mean, Will just crossed 100.
Yeah, he did. Will
bought it with 90, didn't he? 80, 90?
He bought it with
Oh,
69.
69, something like
Did
that.
he really? He's
Yeah.
driven it that much. That is
He has.
impressive. I thought that it had more when he bought it. That car is bulletproof.
He told us 69.
I think it was
I'm pretty
69,
sure.
something like that. I know it was high.
Okay.
It was high 60s or
I mean,
low
69 is a hard number to forget. That's
yeah.
kind of why I'm like, I'm pretty sure.
You're,
It was
you're
69.
adamant about it. Being 69.
Yeah.
No, that's great though. I mean, the Gen 1 platform, regardless of which R8 you go, if it's a Gen 1 V8 or V10 or the Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 2 facelift, whatever, it's a great car. The 5.2, the modern 5.2 is a phenomenal engine. I don't know if you guys know the difference. So like the Gen 1 V10, the 5.2 from the R8 only had like 10 injectors, so 1 injector per cylinder. Had the older trans mated to like the S-Tronic and the R-Tronic, which was a notoriously like slow transmission, but with software you can make it better. But with the Gen 2, like they hit everything, hit every nail on the head. Had the updated motor with 20 injectors, like you can't run out of fuel on that car. The 7-speed DCT, like it's such a good platform. And again, no issues.
Yeah, that car is definitely on my hit list.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I've done 2 Gold Rush rallies in it. I've done a ton of like smaller rallies, like fuel runs. I did a new rally up to Monterey last year.
Bro, how was Gold Rush?
Gold Rush is a blast. It
Really?
is so much fun. I think I've done like 4 of them now.
How
and
long was it?
It's like typically like 10 to 12 days.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, so
Dude, it is so much fun.
Run us through it. Because
Okay.
you this was like last month, no? Or like,
I didn't go on this
Oh, you
last
didn't
one,
go
no,
this
but
one.
I went last year, the year before that. I went from 2020 through 2023, so
Yeah.
4 of them.
okay.
Yeah, they're so much fun, honestly. So the start off, I mean, they make you feel like you're a celebrity. Like they have all these crazy fan events. Like there are some people that are like very well known on that. They throw these awesome fan events and you start at one location. My favorite year, honestly, by far, I think it was 2021. We did the whole Bible Belt. So we started in New York, went the whole way down through like the Virginias. We went down through like Tennessee, came up and like through New Orleans and ended in Texas. So like a massive loop of the US almost. You start at the start grid. They have this breakfast, this crazy come to Jesus talk with everyone. They give you your...
Come to Jesus talk. What does this mean?
It's like drive how you want, try to stay within
Oh,
limits,
yeah.
try not to kill yourself. Like,
think about the others on the rally.
yeah, exactly.
This
Think
is
about
a
the
group
others.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, they'll have that. Typically the night before they'll do like a massive like welcome dinner. But every day it's some kind of new activity, whether it's like a special lunch at like a historical site or you're going to some crazy dinner and club experience. It's a new kind of thing that you're doing every day. So
Yeah.
that specific rally was a blast. I mean, we stayed at Lot in New York, Lot Palace, I think it is, which is like the most beautiful hotel in New York, right in the middle of the city. We're tearing down. We went through DC, stayed at a really cool hotel there, through the Virginias into North Carolina. I think it was Ashtown, in the Carolinas, or Asheville. Yeah, it was Asheville in the Carolinas. This crazy winery. And then we went through New Orleans, it's always so much fun.
And the whole time you're just mobbing with supercars. That's
yeah,
the big thing.
you're mobbing with just the craziest cars.
Yeah.
Stuff that I wouldn't think would be on a rally. Like you'll see like Veyrons and Chirons on that rally. You'll see CGTs. You'll see just like...
How many people are on that rally?
I want to say maybe like 150, 200 people.
I mean,
That's a lot.
That's a
But
lot
keep
of
in
people.
mind, it's typically 2 people per car. So the entry that you're paying, the fee that you pay includes the driver and a co-pilot. So typically everyone brings a friend or the significant other or something.
You're talking
Yeah.
about 400 people though.
No, he's saying...
it'd be 200 people like
Oh, okay.
total.
So like 100
Got it,
up,
got it.
Yeah,
like
I would say-
100 cars,
I'd say, like,
7,500 cars.
7,500. I think they've had more. I think they've done
Still a
up
lot
to
of
like...
cars.
I think they've probably gone over 100 before.
That's crazy.
But it was such a cool experience. And then they have like their fuel runs, which is great. And Amy and Ramin that run it, really cool people. So
100 cars.
they also put on cars and
30
copters
grand.
as well.
Nice.
No, they're doing well out of it for sure. I mean, you got to keep in mind they have other sponsors for the event as well. You know, like-
Sponsors. And obviously that's not... Everything they do costs money. So
oh, absolutely.
staying
I mean,
at the best
they
places,
put a
all that
lot
stuff.
of money into those rallies. You know, everything. It's an all expenses paid trip. You know, the
Yeah.
only thing that isn't really covered is going to be gas and the odd like breakfast or lunch here and then. It's like, hey, you know, you're on your own for this. We'll
Right.
meet.
You
at
got
this
open
place.
bars at night?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's dangerous, bro.
Yeah,
Super dangerous.
the one that I went to in 2023, the first night was at Zook in Vegas. they rented out this massive, like pretty much half the club was just 1016, or not 1016, was Gold Rush people.
Right.
And like 1016 had its own area because we were sponsoring. And that was a blast. Zed was playing. A lot of drinks were given. Like everyone was given these bottles, and yeah, it was
Good
fun.
time.
It was fun.
That's
I went to sleep. I think I went to sleep at like 5:30 a.m. I woke up at 7 to rally to Vegas the next day.
that's the
No
party.
hangover. That was like the last time. I
Party
think that was
rally.
like my last, because I was 22 on that. That was like my last kind of lucky experience where I didn't get hungover. Now I'm fucked.
Downhill. You're getting old now. You're getting old.
I go out, I have 2 drinks, and I wake up the next day like, oh.
It's like I wasn't even kind of drunk. Why do I have a hangover?
Yeah, it's like I didn't feel anything. Why do I feel it more now than I did?
We need to get on our first rally. That's the next thing we got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
For
sure.
sure. I mean, can you imagine? Like I feel like with what you guys do, it would be such an easy pitch to people on rallies. Like, hey, we have this awesome setup. Like, let's pick a team to do an overview with every day.
Literally. And we can
Yeah,
literally chop
crazy.
down, break
I
down
mean-
and chop it up with everybody.
The long tail guys, I know that you guys know Will. Like the long tail guys are,
We know
they're
Mike
pretty open
too.
to doing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Gold Rush would do it as well. I mean, this is a really cool. Like, I don't think anyone else has ever had like a mobile podcast studio.
Yeah.
Like imagine you guys.
We'll probably have Ramin on at some point
He's
Yeah.
a cool guy.
because they hit us up right before the Gold Rush rally, and then we had a bunch of people lined up, so we couldn't make it work. And then they were like, "Well, like let us know when we can do it after." So
Yeah. No, they're cool people. They're really neat.
sweet. This is Were you about to say something?
No, I'm
I feel like I
waiting,
cut
I'm
you
waiting
off.
for you. No, you're good, baby girl. I'm waiting for you.
Okay. I was just going to ask how you got into all the car stuff. Have you ever noticed all the Montana license plates on the Supercars and classic cars at a Cars and Coffee and wonder why that is? Well, Montana has 3 huge benefits. It's a state with no sales tax, low registration fees, and no smog restrictions, so you don't have to be worried about all those modifications you want to do. Now, you don't need any inside knowledge or property in Montana. MontanaTags.com will literally do everything for you step by step to set up your Montana LLC and get your new car registered under it. I just went through this process with these guys myself, and it only takes a couple minutes. Always make sure to follow your state and local laws and visit montanatags.com/supercarconnection or click the link in our bio to get started today.
You said you started South OC Cars and Coffee in high school?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
fuck-
with my dad. So, the current iteration of Southwest Cars and Coffee. Before that, let's bring it back. So, 2015, there was actually a lesser known Southwest Cars and Coffee that was at just down the street from this current location at the Target parking lot, which honestly was a lot of fun. This was right after the Cars and Coffee in Irvine, which I still think is like one of the best events ever, shut down, which I think went from 2008 or 2009 till 13, I want to say 2013, 2014. And we decided that this was more so, I was like 13 at the time. So this is more so my dad, some of his friends just kind of like gathering at this parking lot, and like people started showing up. Before I knew it, it was kind of like a weird like hypercar hangout. Like there was stuff there that took a long time for us to get at the current Cars and Coffee. Like keep in mind, this was 2015, late 2014, early 2015.
Different time.
Yeah,
sure.
like we were having P1s and F40s and F50s and Veyrons and just stuff that I was not expecting to see in
Just
sleepy
pull up
little
and
San
hang out.
Clemente
Right.
in the Target parking lot.
Just chilling.
So that kind of stuff, that was kind of my first taste of car shows and stuff. I was seeing how it was ran and seeing how kind of everything worked. Fast forward to 2016, Cars and Coffee in Aliso Viejo opened up at the town center, which still was a great event. But the issue with that was there was no one really running it, no one policing it. So that kind of got shut down pretty fast. People were doing some stupid shit, peeling out of the events, doing burnouts, stuff like that. Stuff that I get it. It's not welcome at car shows, though, not welcome at car shows in Southern California, I should say. And so right around this time that this was going on, my dad and I approached the outlets of San Clemente. I want to say it was probably March of 2017 that we approached. Hey, we want to run something here. We'd previously hosted little drives and random odd things beforehand at the event, or sorry, the property, right when they opened. Like once we'd shut down the whole Target thing, we were doing little cruises like in Australia. So you guys know, we don't really have big car shows. Like we don't have big Cars and Coffees and stuff. Everyone's about driving their cars. Saturday nights are for cruises. They'll meet at a random spot. everyone with their cars, they'll cruise to another spot. They'll meet up for a bit, grab gas, grab coffee, meet wherever, and they'll just cruise around. You do, 50 to 100 kilometers. And there'd be, 50, 60, 70 cars. It's
Super
just a cool
policed over there,
experience.
isn't it?
It is, but honestly, the cops in Australia are more so like, if you do some stupid shit, you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
If you're driving around, like my dad in Australia had a Holden Commodore, which is a Pontiac G8 over here, massive cam in it, like bright red. That the kind of stuff that the kind of car that draws attention that you would get state ref for, like that. You got left alone for the most part. The cops are pretty cool about it. As long as you're not doing something stupid, you're not gonna cause any issues. So we would have these cruises, and we wanted to replicate that over here, and that's the kind of thing that was happening before we'd officially launched South OC Cars and Coffee at the outlets at San Clemente. The first or second one that we hosted, or that my dad hosted, people came flying down in a golf cart in suits. We're thinking, shit, here we go. And it's the outlets management team saying, hey, thank you guys so much for being here. We can't figure out how to get people to this property. San Clemente's a pretty affluent town. They don't want an outlet mall with, random odds and ends. They want South Coast Plaza. They want Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Dior, that stuff. So it took the people in San Clemente a little while to come around, and so they wanted to figure out how to get people into the shops. With that in mind, we went back in 2017 around March and said, hey, we want to host an event here, but no, if we do it, we want to do it right, and it's going to be fucking big. We wanted it to be big. And they were all for it. They said, oh, okay, that's all right. And it was quiet for the first month. And then Aliso Viejo Cars and Coffee got shut down, and we got flooded. And that was the first time that I run the event. I was in high school, I was a senior. First time that I'd ever run the event without my dad there. He was away on a business trip. And I remember calling him, and I'm like, hey, Dad, there's a line of cars out onto the freeway. Like, there's a traffic jam of people trying to come. What the fuck do I do? And so... that was kind of the start of South OC Cars and Coffee and how it has transformed into what it is today.
What made you choose weekly?
I think doing anything, whether it's a car show or whether it's anything business related, consistency is key. I think it's really, really easy to take the cop-out route and do something that's like, once a quarter, once a month, whatever. It's a lot less work. But I think if you really want to build something big, you have to do it consistently and for the right audience. Looking back on it, would have been a lot easier if I did monthly. For sure. Yeah. I would have been able to sleep in on my Saturdays.
It's only a quarter of the work.
Yeah, for sure. But at the end of the day, I'm grateful that it's weekly because it's more opportunity for kids and parents and whatever to experience these cool cars. But B, it's a good way for me to meet people and figure out ways to promote my business and the other businesses that I work with. So it's good. It's for the best. I mean, people that we work with, like our sponsors and stuff, are much more open to partnering with us because it's more consistent. They're getting a lot more exposure than if I was just monthly. I think the other massive factor that plays into that is that if it was monthly, I think it would be a hell of a lot bigger than it is. People it would get hyped up a lot more. Like you look at Sunday Steel and what happened with that. I mean, that because it was a monthly event, everyone flocked to it. That one event.
Which one?
Sunday Steel in Laguna Niguel. Which just recently they had issues and they got shut down, unfortunately, which was a fantastic event. I really enjoyed it.
I used to go to Supercar Sundays at Lambeau Newport Beach.
Yeah.
Just once a month.
In the day. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time you went there was like 3 Koenigsegg's and a line of SVs and P1s. Like it was always flooded with like hypers and stuff.
There was so many cool cars there. So many cool cars.
I went to the one when the Dan's Centenario first hit.
Oh.
The carbon and blue one. And then they had a Reventon parked right across from it. And it was just like...
It was a different time.
It was a different time. Because
like,
that car was that was such a big deal at that time too. Like today, hypers are everywhere. Koenigsegg is selling so many cars. Pagani is selling so many cars. Bugatti is selling, like there's so many cars.
It's before internet money was how it is today. Like you're not seeing these kids running around, oh yeah, I day trade. I have 3 Chirons and 2 Iras. This is like, okay, this is before everyone was going viral. It's before social media was as big as it was. If you saw a hypercar, like, it was a big deal.
Huge. Yeah, because a hypercar wasn't necessarily an investment at the time.
No.
They weren't going up in value. Like used Veyrons slid under $1 million for a long time.
Oh,
which
yeah.
is crazy because those
Well,
It's crazy to think about now.
they're going to continue to go stupid. I think the Veyron is.
They were more scarce back then than they are now, and the values were just nothing compared to it.
So I mean, and then on top of that, it became a marketing tool,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Having
for sure.
having a hypercar that was not a thing.
Yeah.
So, but those shows, I was in college at the time, and those shows just hit different.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely, man. Those shows were crazy. I think as well, I mean, you know, touching on what you said about buying those cars as an investment, like, do you think that people buying one of like the Trinity cars in 2013 or 14 are like, yeah, I'm going to spend $800K or $900K on this 918. It's going to make me $5 million.
Bro, they couldn't sell them.
No, I know.
The 918, they
crazy.
couldn't sell them all. They were
crazy.
like,
Different time.
yeah, they were
Well,
begging people to buy the 918 so much that they were like, hey, we set up this new 10-year program
Yep.
that like if you buy this car, you'll get an allocation for any future Porsche you want.
Well, they had the 911R as well. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember that.
Oh.
That thing was crazy. I think it's like $1 million now or something.
Yeah.
Isn't
Well,
it?
what's crazy is they immediately ran. They went stupid, and then they crashed really hard.
What is this?
The 911R.
I don't even know
It was essentially the touring before the touring.
Yeah.
So it was a 991.1 GT3 wingless. Had this really cool like green, kind of like a split green stripe down the middle.
And
I
it
think
only
was-
came in manual.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
shit.
it was only available in white as well.
They made lots of colors.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it was just like, I think they kind of lied about it, or maybe it wasn't a lie at the time. But if I remember right, they said it was like the last manual 911 of that type they were going to do. It was, I don't know. I just remember it being, people thought it was going to be like the last manual 911. And then it was the GT3, or maybe they just thought it was the last manual GT3
yeah.
platform.
I didn't laugh.
And they went stupid. Like they immediately took off. And
So
then they
the
crashed.
funniest thing about that was obviously they made the 911 on manual because you couldn't buy a .1 GT3 in manual.
Yeah.
You could only buy the 991.2 GT3 in a manual. And when they released that, I mean, I feel like that also heavily devalued the 911Rs because everyone was buying those cars because they wanted, like, they killed off at the 997 GT3. You could get that in a manual, and I think you could get the 997 3RS in a manual as well. And they killed it off for the 991.1 GT3 and the 3RS. They were both auto, which sucked. I mean, the GT3 is cool, but I think I always have thought that's such an analog car, and
So
to
this is it.
truly experience it.
You knew the story better than I did.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's from speculation. I had a
Right.
friend who actually had one.
And then I think people just, since it had been so long since they did it, they didn't know if they were going to do it again. So people were just like, this could be our only shot to get this
Yeah.
car. They went stupid. And then the newer one came out, not the R, but a manual option.
Yeah.
And then they just tanked. But I mean, they're
Yeah.
back up, I'm pretty sure. Kind
They
of.
are. Yes. Well, they also announced the 991.2 GT3 Touring, which was really cool because it was essentially the poor man's 911R.
Yeah.
I had a friend in high school whose dad had a 918. And I think the son stacked his dad's 911R, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure he totaled it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah. It's ouch.
Well, it might have been insured for more than it was worth.
Yeah, well,
Probably.
Depending on the scenario.
This was like
But ACV
right when
is
it came out, though. I don't think that it might have skyrocketed in value, but I mean, I think everything skyrocketed in value. There were so many cars that I think have skyrocketed that shouldn't have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
SF90. Can you imagine paying $1.5 million for an SF90 and looking at the market now?
Yeah, that hurts.
400s and 500s.
What I'll say, dude, is I'm sorry, Alejandro Salamandran.
Oh,
But if he sells a car, go out and purchase it immediately.
oh yeah, yeah. Anytime he sells something, it's just gonna skyrocket.
He was
in
one of the
value.
first like Wyra owners, and like had the Wyra for a minute, sold it. We all know where the Wyra's sitting
Yeah.
these days. He got a 918 back when they couldn't sell them, and then he traded it for. He got an acid green one of two
Yeah,
in that color. Because that was even like on the precipice before people were speccing crazy colors yet.
yeah.
Like when you bought a crazy car, you still got like a generic color to save the value or whatever. It's before the crazy specs took off. So he
Crazy.
had one of two acid green 918, and I have no clue what that would be worth today with the YSAC package.
an
Probably be
insane
like
amount of money.
$3.5 million car
If not
maybe in
more.
that spec.
I mean, he probably could have sold it in peak 2021 and 2022 for like $5.
Because that's such a
Like 4 or
rare.
5.
The other acid green wasn't YSAC, so that was literally like a one of one spec in the 918.
What
And
happened to
then
that guy?
his Senna burned down, which is part of what happened
How
to
did I
him.
not know about that? I had no clue.
He had a Senna, it burned down, and which, that's not his fault. He didn't sell the Senna, but Sennas have gone up a lot since his Senna burned down. Now, that was still a long time ago. What happened? I've used to followed him for a long time. He just like stopped making videos one day, moved to Texas to like work on his businesses. I think he got kind of burnt out in the content game because he was going so hard for so long.
He has an unreal amount of money, so I don't think he really needs. He's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I've made my 100 mil. I'm gonna bounce off the face of the planet now.
It's like that, huh?
I can't blame him.
Probably.
I can't blame him.
Neither can I.
But no, he's trying to kind of make kind of a comeback.
Is he?
Yeah.
So he came to Cars and Coffee recently. Actually, brought a very interestingly spec'd Huracan Storado, which, by the way, is the most fun Huracan that has ever been created.
The matte blue one.
Yes, the matte blue one.
He's already sold that.
Okay, we'll go and buy a Storado then.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Good point. Storado, that's the next car.
The Storado, I think, is honestly the most fun I've ever had in a Huracan. I'll have to send you the clips later. We supercharged one at VF Engineering, and the owner decided that the best way to break it in was to take it into the mountains in Utah and beat the ever-living shit out of it. And it was so much fun. Like, it was actually so cool.
If I guess who it is, will you say yes or no? Or
Yeah, sure.
Supercar Ron?
Nope.
Oh,
He turboed his.
okay.
Yeah, he turboed his. The guy actually posted. It's a guy named Cam Hughes, probably one of the nicest guys that I've met. Lives out in Utah. Has just the coolest car collection. I mean, he has another Huracan that was supercharged by VF and Evo. We did his Storado. He has a SF90, like a 992, 991.2 that's like 14 or 1500 horsepower. And I think it's a smart car that he off-roads as well. And yeah, dude, it's cool.
Utah activities.
For real.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, we were launching that car through these crazy like off-road trails in Utah. He's taking out the underpanels, like he's properly driving that car, and it was like the best marketing tool that we at VF Engineering had ever had. It was just phenomenal.
Dude, that's crazy. Those are the type of experiences, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you buy a $350,000 Huracan, you throw an extra 50 grand into the blower, and you're like, you know what? Let's go off-road it.
Let's go.
You know?
For real.
Those are the kind of people I like.
For real.
But if you're gonna buy a Storado, these pavement princess Storados, these guys that like they're never gonna put them even on the beach. I think it's a waste. I think it's a very cool car, but if it's bought as an investment, I understand it. But just if you're buying it just to drive, like
that is a waste.
For sure.
I got a question for you.
Sure.
Huracan Storado or 911 Safari or Dakar?
The Dakar. No, it has to be the Storado. The V10 platform is phenomenal. I mean, the letdown for me with the Dakar was that they only put the 3-liter. They put the GTS motor in it, which is a lot smaller displacement than the turbo. So the turbo has a 3.8, or I want to say, and this has the 3-liter. So much smaller turbos, much smaller displacement engine. I think it only makes like 360 something horsepower versus the Storado, which is 630. I mean, that thing moves.
Bro, and the Dakars, they sell for more too. That's what's so crazy.
You hate Porsche, don't you?
I do. That's what I was literally gonna tell him. I was like, bro, I didn't have fun driving those fucking cars on the street. You think you have more fun driving off road? No.
I figured that we'd run into this. So what is, as a Porsche hater, what is your favorite Porsche?
It's a good question. Well, let me get out here and just say it again, because I feel like, again, you say I hate Porsche. Not that I hate them. It's just I hate what the moniker is, what the average person thinks they are. They think like, again, they're amazing cars. They're probably the best all-around car. Like the 992 Turbo S is probably the best all-around car. We've talked about it a million times. It is what it is.
Yeah.
What people think the car is, though, is what kind of gets me about. They treat it like if it's a better product or it's a little bit more on a higher echelon status than like SVJs, Lambos, anything like that. It's become like a clout moniker where it's just like they're like these God-given cars, which they're good cars engineering-wise, but they're not exciting like a lot of these other cars are. If I had to pick my favorite one right now, it's a good fucking question.
Do you think it would be the 992 Turbo S?
No.
Does he have to pick a 911?
No. It can be any Porsche. Anything with a Porsche logo.
What are you thinking?
It can be a 919, whatever it is, a 917, whatever that crazy.
It'd be a 918, no?
Yeah.
Is there a Porsche you would take over a 918?
That's the thing. I'm like, as much as I'm familiar with them, I've never been able to drive one or do anything like that. So I don't even know the experience. I'd be getting it because it's the thing to get because of what it is. I want an answer that I'm actually like, I can attest to.
I mean, I've heard multiple Holy Trinity owners say it's the best of the three.
Thing. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
I don't know. If you want an honest answer out of just my experience, it would be a 992 GT3. That's it.
Yeah, that's
The fact that you pick a-
It's a
The fact that you pick a 992 GT3 over a 918 is just wild.
It's not that I'm picking it because of the fact it's like, it'd be the same thing if you asked me like, okay, would you pick a Bugatti Chiron or like an SVJ? I would probably pick the Bugatti Chiron because it's Bugatti Chiron, but in all reality, I'll probably have more fun enjoying driving the SVJ. I just drove a Chiron this past weekend and I got to experience that shit. So like at the same time, I've driven both the cars.
Yeah.
They're different experiences in their own. So like the Chiron was basically like when you get in it, because it's built in the same chassis as a Bentley, it feels very much like a literally like a GT, like a Bentley GT. When you're just rolling. Cloud, it's quiet, it's inside, there's not a lot of buttons. You have your four little
It's on the same
turn-ups.
chassis as the Bentley?
It's built similar, I believe so. If I'm not mistaken. Is it
I
not?
wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not.
Probably is.
Don't quote me on it, but I'm 99% positive it's built on a Bentley chassis. So like it feels very.
You're
similar.
recorded. You can literally be quoted on that.
Okay, well, fucking quote me. It's built on a BMW. It's on a Bentley chassis. Okay, if I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Whatever. So I drove the car. You didn't. Okay, whatever. So I literally start driving and I'm like, this is floating. The second you give it gas and it kicks down and the transmission becomes a little more responsive, it turns into a 765. It's wild.
Really?
Like the car becomes extremely nimble. Like it literally just like the car transforms. You're literally cruising at one point and you feel like you're driving something. The second it kicks down, the car completely turns into something else. Plus, the way the W16 sounds, it's unlike any motor I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's just pure induction noise.
Pure induction noise. Anytime you give it gas, let off, anything like that, it's all induction. So you're literally driving it and like inside it's kind of numb and almost kind of weirdly plug and play because they make it simple. There's not much going on, but then you just have this consistent, like just crazy ass fucking noise.
Yeah,
slurp that.
Huh?
Slurp that.
Put that mouth through.
Pause.
Hold up.
Then you get to it, and then the one part that kind of like, I try to not let it ruin it because I was able to drive a buddy. So like it was one of those things where I was like trying to be respectful, but like you think of like the monetary value attached to the car. And it's hard to be able to drive that car like in a crazy manner when you're like, oh no, this is worth M's type
You're like,
thing.
shit, I'm driving a house. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, literally.
nice one.
So like,
I'm driving a Newport.
a really
nice house.
a really nice fucking house.
A very
This ain't
nice
no
house.
3.2 and fucking. No, I'm driving a crib. So it was a cool experience, but at the same time, if you told me, okay, take this or take the SVJ, people can kill me on this, but I'd probably pick the SVJ because it's a more visceral, enjoyable experience. Combined, the Bugatti is like. It's a mixture of too many things. And
What if you had the money?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, I think that the main pressure point there is the fact that having to replace a car like that is tough.
If you have the money, well, then I think the motivation changes because I would pick the Bugatti for the fuck you factor. But in terms of actually enjoying the car, like again, it depends what you enjoy.
You think if you were like, well, one, if you put a stupid exhaust on it to where it was more than just induction noises, and then two, you were able to just really whip that thing. Like not worried about anything, whipping that thing.
It'd probably be a different
You think you would still have a better experience in the SVJ? I mean, the answer could be yes. I'm not trying to corner you into
I know that. I mean, the thing is, I've never heard, again, first time we were driving that car, hearing that car, I can't imagine what it would sound like with a crazy exhaust. That's the thing that takes the SVJ to what it is it's such a crazy visceral experience for what it is.
How much time did you have behind the wheel?
Not a ton of time, like 10, 15 minutes.
10, 15
You have to keep in mind as well, the SVJ sounds like a vacuum cleaner stock. It does.
It does. And then you put the exhaust on and it sounds fucking ridiculous. It's the same thing.
Yes.
Well, I mean, almost pretty much everything is like that now.
I probably depreciated that car like 20 miles, which is fucking sick.
Like,
but like
100 grand. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I made that thing drop 6 figures and it literally tells you what it was.
Yeah.
But it's like, again, it goes back to it depends on what you're looking for out of the experience the cars give you. Because the Bugatti was one thing, but the SVJ, I think from a purely basic raw, any car lover experience, SVJ. There's nothing that beats the basic car lover experience that the SVJ gives you. Bugatti is like a whole different, if you appreciate the way the engineering is and everything that the car is completely as a unit, the Bugatti is a next level thing, mentally. Is that a good answer?
It is
that
a good
makes
answer.
sense.
It's
Yeah.
a good answer.
There it is.
There's no way I'd take a 992 GT3 over a 918 though.
That's fair.
To be honest with you, I feel like the 918 also falls into that category of like, if I'm going to buy any Porsche and money wasn't a factor, I still don't think I'd pick the 918. I think it's cool, but I think it's so overhyped. Honestly, I have such a soft spot for the 991.22 RS. I have such a soft spot for that car.
They look bitchin'.
They do. They're crazy.
And their induction noise is pretty sick too.
Yeah, it is.
It's like the 992 Turbo. I mean,
when
all that you
slowing
can
down,
hear
it's
is that's all you can hear.
Yeah.
You know, I would take that probably.
What would the spec be? Break it down.
black. All my cars are black.
Yeah, I was saying
Black.
the James
Matte
black
black?
with brushed wheels, right?
Would it be the Chamba?
The Chamba. No, his is black.
His is
It's
matte black
yeah.
with red
Yeah.
Alcantara.
Nope, that's
interior.
exactly what I get.
Brushed
yeah.
wheels?
I'd have to. Yeah, brush silver.
His spec
Has to be.
is sick. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Brushed wheels.
All the the nice cars that I have always been black with HREs. It's just that's my thing. I like it. This has RDB wheels, and it's also not black, not for long.
Is it gonna be wrapped?
It will be. Yeah, it's
Coming
gonna go gloss black PPF.
Coming soon.
Um,
The gloss black PPF shines 10 times more than the gloss black any
Dude,
fucking wrap film.
it is
The
crazy.
UPPF is what you're gonna use.
Yeah, black
Yeah,
PPF.
that shit's
Yeah, like it's so crazy. Look at gloss black vinyl versus the PPF.
Dude,
like, dude,
I didn't know the difference. So if you look
No.
at my 720, my rockers and my wing is that UPPF, and
Yeah.
it hits different than I've ever seen another film. Black
Because
film.
black vinyl film is just black.
Yeah, dude.
Like it's black.
well,
The
you also get
PPF
the stretch marks.
has the coating over the top.
Yeah,
So it's like the black vinyl. It's really like clear coat over black. It's like
fucking-
it
it's-
mimics paint in
Yes.
a way.
Sick as fuck.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, you get the depth of the PPF. That's the main thing. I think as well. The stretch marks on film always bug the shit out of me. I've had wrapped cars in the past, and I'm very nitpicky with how it looks. I mean, mind you, with PPF, it's a big sticker on a car. Like I get it, it's not going to be perfect, but
Big sticker on a car.
no, it is. That's all it is.
Yeah,
Really good way to
100%.
look
Just
at
a
it.
funny
Yeah.
description.
Yeah, you know. But the PPF is just
We never grow up. We're just children.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
like putting
That's what
stickers
we are.
on things.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just,
what
Our toys get bigger
Yeah.
and more.
Yeah.
Expensive. That's really all that
it's
is.
still it's car to car. It's sticker to sticker. Everything just gets bigger.
oh yeah, for sure. I honestly think after driving that a lot, the RS6, I think that is like the ultimate. Like if I was just gonna piss off and just have one car, like I think it would be that.
Calm down.
Really.
Calm down, James. You're
No.
walking in crazy territory right now. You're
you know,
telling me in the entire supercar world,
no. If not the entire supercar world, but if I had to pick one car to do everything, one car to haul groceries, drive the kids around when I have kids, to shit on most supercars, some supercars. I'm not gonna say most, but some supercars. And
You could say
look
most.
fucking good while doing it. R6,
I respect that answer.
dude. I mean, just with downpipes and software, like over 800 horsepower. It's on air. It's comfy. It has all the modern luxuries. It has CarPlay, it has adaptive cruise control, lane departure assist. Has the noise, like the V8, the turbo noises. I mean, the induction noises on this are crazy as well. It's comfy, like the gas mileage when you're not just like foot the entire way to the floor. It's tolerable. You know, it's like 16, 20. It's really not that bad.
No, it's actually really good.
Yeah,
That's really good.
It's not bad at all, and it's like the wagon look is so cool in my opinion.
And
Especially
when you drop it like that, it looks sick.
it's just on links. I mean, it's it's the factory air suspension. That's like the best part. You know,
Oh,
it's
really?
just lowering links. Yeah, it drops the car a lot. You can also lower these with the factory scan tool, which I don't quote me, but I think the way that works is like it tricks the car to think it's already like higher than it thinks it's higher than it is, so it will overcorrect and lower it more. So you can, I mean, whichever way you want to do it. There's a lot of ways to modify this car.
So you just let it trick it do its thing.
The fitment
Yeah.
on this thing is nice.
Extremely
Thank you. I'll have to bring the R8 next
Did
time.
the work
Oh,
yourself. huh?
100%.
Yeah, no, I did not do the work myself. No, I actually bought it like that.
Yeah.
I'll have to bring the R8 next time. I love Audi, honestly.
Yeah.
I have 3 of them. It's phenomenal.
I had an A5. I had 2 A5s.
Nice.
And then I wanted the R8. We're just not there yet.
Just buy one.
Yeah.
You just have to buy one.
That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah. You can if you think about it like that, like if you want to get one, you can just get one.
Just
We're
put
getting there.
Literally all your mental focus
The-
and everything.
I
Well,
just-
you have
I just
you
did that
buy
with-
it, and then you have to figure out how to pay for it later.
I
That's
just-
that's the not fun part.
yeah.
I just did that with an Aston Martin instead.
That's a great choice. I love Astons. They're so fun.
It's an old one.
A raw one.
It's a John.
It's raw.
It's a James Bond spec.
It's beautiful.
What do you like about the Astons?
Dude, they're just like they have such class about them. I think any English supercar, whether it's an Aston, whether it's McLaren, it just has kind of an upper echelon of class to it. It's just they're very elegant. They're not so over the top. I mean, McLaren, different story, but like
They're
Aston,
white gloved.
Yeah.
they're not. The styling isn't too over the top, but they sound fantastic. I mean, once you get past the electrical issues of everything made in England, everything else is great.
It doesn't make any sense how one giant country can just make the same issue with every fucking car possible. Like, we're gonna have a ton of
Land
electrical
Rover,
issues,
McLaren.
and all
Yeah.
our cars are gonna depreciate like shit.
Yeah.
Besides
Yeah.
that, for the first
It's
year,
gonna be a fantastic
alright.
formula.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
it
doing
is.
alright.
Yeah, my favorite thing about this car is the depreciation.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That was my favorite thing with the R8 as well. I snacked it up right before they shot up in value.
Pristine, huh?
Yeah.
So what
Yeah.
exactly is your Audi R8 spec? What
So
year?
it is a 2017 R8 V10 Plus. I spent forever trying to find the right spec because I'm a bigger guy. I didn't want to sit in like the normal diamond stitch seat. So it actually has the factory buckets, which were really rare for 2017 and 18. So the actual like Recaro crazy buckets, which I love, like all black interior.
I don't even know if I've seen these.
Those seats?
They're cool. I
Yeah.
like them a lot. They're actually a lot more common in the facelifted Gen 2 or Gen 3.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for the Gen 2s, it was really hard to find. But I found this spec. It was in Arizona. Low-ish miles, like one owner previously. It was already lowered, just on the factory silver wheels, but black on black. Perfect spec. Loved it. And I needed something out of state because I could afford the car at the time, but even then it was kind of a stretch. And I had 2 cars that were paid off that I wanted to trade towards it, both of which weren't smog legal. So I traded both of those cars in out of state towards this. They took them on trade, gave me way more money than they should have for it. And I got the R8.
What'd you trade? What'd you have?
I had a Panamera, another Panamera, just downpipes and software on that. And then I had a fully built 2015 Camaro SS1 LE, which
That's a badass car.
I
though.
still regret selling it. It was red. It was like the only bright colored car that I've ever had. So it was red hot. Had a massive cam in it. Had a blower on it.
Those are badass cars.
Dude, it was so much fun.
Those are badass.
I love that car. My first car was actually a Camaro. I've had 4 of them. I still have one now. I have a really high horsepower one. Just
Yeah, I've seen
What year?
that.
2013.
2013.
That is-
OG Camaro, yeah.
Yeah, that is the generation. You get the older body style with like the square headlights, and then
Yes.
you get the new interior with the
Individual taillights before
Yeah.
they made
Yep.
bitchin' ass Camaros.
Yep. So yeah, that dealership in Arizona took both cars on trade, and I actually got a used car lease for the difference. So I paid the rest of my deposit and then leased it, so I was able to get the tax write off.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it was great.
Play the
Honestly,
game.
the best financial decision that I ever made.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't overextending myself at the time, but it was definitely
A stretch.
it was definitely like, should I do this? You know,
Mhm.
I was overthinking it. And the second I signed the deal, I was like, I fucked up. But I didn't. I mean, that car has got me into social circles that I otherwise couldn't have been a part of. It's got me in contact with brands that wanted to work with me to build that car that I otherwise wouldn't have been a part of. 1016 and VF both being 2 of my bigger clients from my agency that have, I've worked with them for a long time and it's been great. I built the cars with them and it's been a really good return.
Yeah.
I love that thing. It's great.
More people on the internet are talking about how like these supercars, you buy them and how they can be such good networking and marketing
Absolutely.
tools. And it's so funny. You go to the comments, which, I mean, let's be real. Most of the people commenting on things on the internet,
Yeah.
you know, what are you spending your time doing? You're commenting.
I'll
But
give me
they-
from ignorance. Yeah.
But they're,
I get it.
they'll still try to argue that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you, someone without a supercar, are telling someone that has a supercar that's telling you this has absolutely transformed my networking experiences, are trying to say that no, that doesn't work like that, and that that doesn't change how you think about somebody personally. You think everyone else is like that too.
It's
so funny.
It's kind of like it's something that's hard to conceptualize for people that aren't in like a somewhat entrepreneurial mindset. People that don't want to, think of, okay, I have to spend, let's say, a new R8, $180,000, $200,000. They don't want to spend $200,000 to go and meet people because they think they're not going to make that money back. It's like, okay, cool. Let's say I buy that car, I spend $200,000 on it. I go and meet a guy that wants to do business with me and I can profit $10,000 a month, hypothetically, off that business. Okay, cool. I'm now making $10,000 a month, which is going to more than cover the lease payment on my R8. It's going to help generate revenue for me to pay that down faster or hire people to build up this business, whatever. Like, and even if you're not looking to make money off of it, even if you're just looking to make friends, you're going to meet like-minded individuals when you have these cars that are going to get you in front of people that you can benefit from.
Yeah.
Even if it's not monetary, even if it's just someone that's, hey, I'm in the same R8 group as you. I'm you know, I'm a doctor. I'm a private contractor for this. We build houses. We do this. We do that. You know, it's people that you can work with that it'll benefit you. You know,
The
it's
social
just how it
circle
is.
you get into, it becomes like a problem-solving social circle.
Absolutely, yeah.
Literally, like you can have any little issue, and with the right crew, all of a sudden, boom, there's an answer here. There's someone that knows how to do this. There's a connection here. It like becomes like a puzzle piece. It's endless.
It's funny because that's part of the reason I wasn't worried about buying this car, because so many people were like, "Oh, you're buying," which it's a great deal, low mileage car. I'm not super worried about too much, but obviously anything could happen with a 11-year-old British car. But you know, we've met so many people now. I know so many people now. I'm just like, if something does happen, I'll be okay.
You're okay.
Like I know enough people that know what to do. I'll be okay. I'll call up Will. We'll put it on a lift and we'll start taking things apart until we figure out what's going on.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
It's like that's it.
I mean, especially you guys have set up something so well. You know, this entire setup, this podcast setup, this networking and marketing setup is so good that people would want to help you. You know, you guys are in a great position where, okay, cool, Ghostworks is or AGX, wherever Will is now, is going to fix that coffee. Okay, cool. We can do marketing return. We can bring people on the podcast. Whatever. You guys have made a name for yourself. That's part of doing business, right?
Very much so.
You know, so it's just that's part of how it is. You know, and congratulations on the car. It is.
Thank you.
Very, very pretty and so much fun. Is it the what motor is it? Is it 4.?
It's the 4.7.
7? Yeah. Okay.
V8. So it slurps some fuel for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
It sounds great and it's fun.
It sounds good. It's fun. It's
cool.
way more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I kind of bought it just because of the budget I was in and trying to get like the coolest car for the budget, right? Because like this is the game we're playing, and I'm totally cool with that. And I just I love cars for the design too.
Yeah.
Like I fell in love with cars as a kid because of how they looked.
Yep.
So like buying a beautiful car was a priority, and I was like, it's not going to be the fastest car I could buy at this budget, but like it's beautiful, it's cool, it's unique. I barely see like this generation Vantage.
Yeah.
Like of course California, especially Southern California, is only new stuff. So something like this you don't really see anymore. No. But still a beautiful car. And
it's an Aston.
Exactly. But I thought it was going to be kind of like I came from a 4C.
Yeah.
Super raw, the rawest. So I thought it was and I really like that. So I thought it was gonna be like too comfortable, too just chill, too smooth. But like this car has a ton of character. Yeah. Which was like really surprised me. So, I mean, I'm less than 2 weeks deep in it. But it's been so fun.
Coming from something like a 4C, which is lower horsepower, but also incredibly light, to something like this, which is English cars are known to be a little heavier with a lot more horsepower. What's the key takeaway from it? Do you prefer lighter with less horsepower? Or do you want something that is going to feel like a tank on the road?
It just depends. Well, first, I don't think this feels like a tank on the road. Yeah. A lot of the early, because I watched a ton of videos on them, of course, where I went and bought one.
For sure, as you do.
And like everyone always talked about how heavy they were, and I think for the time it was, but like this is like these cars are like 3750.
Oh, that's not bad.
Which is lighter than a C8 Corvette. So like this car has almost just as much horsepower as a C8 Corvette, and it's lighter, like a little bit lighter than one. So like, and it's definitely smaller dimensionally than one. Like C8 Corvette is a huge car. Yeah. So it doesn't feel big on the road. Like it feels pretty light. It gets up and goes, but it still feels solid and smooth and like kind of everything you want it to.
For sure.
The 4C was a lot of fun. I think it suited like my style well. The turbo had a little more lag than you would want, but it came on and just kind of just thrusted and was a really kind of unique experience. Yeah. And then obviously the lightweight canyons, all that stuff. The problem was, what really happened is we started coming down here so much for shows and for episodes and things like that. That car on the highway, it's just,
you're in a tin can.
It's garbage.
It's brutal.
It's the worst. That is not what it's made for. Yeah. I bought the car during COVID. I was at home. I was working from home, and I was like driving to Angeles Crest on the weekends or doing a quick run to Ralph's. Like that's all the car did. Then we started doing these highway runs, and it was like I was like, I got to get rid of this car. This is complete garbage.
No, yeah, I feel that.
This thing has been perfect. I mean, this thing is perfect for that job.
Yeah. See, I don't have much experience driving these, but I have driven one of the newer, like the DB. I think it's probably 2019 or 1819 DBS Superleggers, and that car felt like a tank.
Yeah.
That car felt like it felt huge. But again, I get what you're saying. It did feel like it was very easy to maneuver, and the power was great. But
I think this is a
huge.
much smaller car than that.
I'm sure it is.
If you pull up the
sure it is.
dimensions, like
Yeah.
this car is still pretty small.
Yeah.
It absolutely.
How do you guys feel about the Aston SUV? Was it the DBX?
The 707?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one is. See, I haven't driven one, but I've only heard great things about the way it drives. You
Yeah.
hear the traditional shit with Aston, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's got its problems, but like what they've probably been able to do, I imagine is probably pretty ridiculous. Like I would take it over an Urus. I'll tell you right now, 100%.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what supercar SUV that would pick over it. I mean,
You would take it over a Urus?
I think I'd take almost anything over a Urus.
Really?
I would, yeah.
what's your reasoning for wanting to take everything over?
Because I don't want to be like,
You drive a
Everyone
flat
else?
Urus?
dude, I mean, you guys know about the whole like Urus in LA thing, right? With like 10 people owning the Uruses.
Bro, what do you mean? Do we know about that, bro? We're the creators of that, dog.
No, it's like a thing. Like I know
Bro,
people. I know like
you're talking to you who fucking outed everybody originally.
Oh,
that's
that was
our
for
clip.
real?
Yeah,
that was
bro,
our
literally.
that was like our first viral clip
Our
on
first viral clip
Instagram.
ever was literally me
was
breaking
talking
down.
about this
Yeah,
I had to
concept.
teach people about game. I was like, you guys don't understand. You guys are walking around. Everyone thinks this one person owns this car. I was like,
Yeah.
bro, you got 4 Armos that have split a car. Like,
yeah, they're
literally.
paying $800 a month for the
100%.
Urus that they get for a week out of the
And
month.
People
Yeah.
think that's the most like wildly like crazy thought. I was like, it's the most normal relative thing that happens.
I know like influencers in LA
Yeah.
that live in the hills that it's like 3 guys that own one Urus or 3 guys that own a Huracan. It's honestly more times than not that I've seen that. It's been guys that want like, because you need to be very successful, or at least I hope you are very successful before you go and buy a super SUV and then a supercar and then like another normal car. Like the guys that have the SVJ, the Urus, and like whatever else, like
G63.
G63. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's.
But it's like
just
it's
add that up real quick.
a lot of the time.
Exactly
Yeah,
the combo I'm working towards. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like, $2 million in cars, whatever. But it's a lot easier to get that if you're 3 or 4 guys
yeah.
that want to own those cars together. You know,
Yes.
it's like that one gray.
Save a lot of time.
It's like that one gray SVJ that you see roaming around Newport Beach that you see different people in every time. I don't know if you guys are caught onto that yet. I don't know if it's a rental. I don't know if it's like 10, 15, 20 guys that own it. But
But it's always got a different driver.
every time you can guarantee that if you go and you sit at Crystal Cove, like the Crystal Cove Center, you'll see that same gray SVJ ripping up and down, shooting flames going each way. It looks like it's a different driver every time. It's the craziest thing.
Well, if it's a rental, you'd be able to find it. No,
I don't care enough to really look.
You
I
would
just
be able
know
to
something's
find it.
going
I
on.
you'd be
think
able to
this one's
find.
a
I haven't
rental.
heard about an SVJ rental.
There's not a lot
No,
of them
there
out
there are.
They're
There-
out there.
there
in
is.
Miami.
There's not a ton of them.
Here?
Not a ton of them.
No, there's a ton of them.
I think Falcon has
There's
one
a ton
up
of
in
them.
Beverly Hills. Falcon has one up in Beverly Hills. I know there's a one company that's like low key that has one out here in OC. They're not a ton of them.
It's people. A lot of the time, from what I've heard, it's people that can't make payments.
Yes.
People will, or they can but barely, and they want to rent it out for a couple of days out of the month to cover their payment.
Oh, they.
I think it's
called?
what is it, like Car Debut or something? I've seen they have stuff like that. There's a few other rental agencies that they
So
don't
Matt was
offer
telling us about
publicly.
I forgot the term.
consignment.
Consignment.
Yeah, yeah.
Consignment rental.
Yeah, I've seen that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's consignment rentals exactly. It's like it's the same like 5 guys that you see in Orange County on Instagram posting the same rental cars, but they have a different link in their bio. It's
Yeah.
It goes back to
like
the same
affiliate
shit.
rentals.
It literally is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It is. And then again, it's kind of like even car sales. Like they all work together. Like,
Yeah.
I have the client that
Yeah.
wants this car. I don't have the car, but I can get access to it. Give me a
Yeah.
percentage. You have the car. You guys can take most of it. I just want to cut because it's my client type thing.
Yeah,
And I make it
brokering.
transact-
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's the same type of bullshit.
There's a lot of people in Orange County that broker these rentals for the owners of the cars, or they run it through whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's
That's
a crazy thing.
My
But-
biggest thing is
Bro, the
like,
being a rental broker would be such a hustle.
Oh, for sure.
oh, bro, any rental business is all fucking.
You just gotta go hang out around like LAX. Just hang out around LAX, like cash accepted. Come take a Urus.
Yeah,
Sometimes they'll go missing. Whatever. Overinsure it.
It's just a lot.
Next thing you know, there's a video of it like coming off of a shipping container in Africa.
Literally, that's all it is.
They're shipping them to like Russia and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, shipping. Yeah, Africa, Russia.
Did you see the video of that Cullinan coming off the shipping container?
Yes, I did.
That was hilarious. I mean, not for somebody. I mean,
Right.
they probably got paid.
It's hilarious for everyone except the one poor fucker that is calling in my missing. And
How
now
many
he's
people sent him that video? That's what I want to know. I just want to know how many people sent that guy the video of his Cullinan being pulled off in Africa.
That's a lot,
Shit, bro.
Because he was just having a Tuesday. He's already been paid off by State Farm. And then all of a sudden his phone just starts blowing up.
Yeah.
And he's like, what?
Dude, no, that's crazy. There's a guy, I don't remember who it was. There was a guy that I met.
That guy driving it?
Yeah. There was a guy
Big
that I
smile
met
on his
recently that was like, yeah, dude, like my G63 is in like Mexico. I was like, what the fuck? And he pulls it up on his app.
The GPS, yeah.
And he pulls it up on his app. He's like, yeah, look, it's a 23 G63. It's like the south of Mexico. And I was like, oh, okay.
Bro,
Yeah,
that
good
shit's
luck.
A lot of
That
that
thing's
shit.
gone.
A buddy of mine got his TRX stolen. Literally same thing.
Yeah.
TRX
I had a buddy
dude.
with the TRX stolen, bro.
Ended up Mexico.
The Dodge in general. It's
Like,
like,
that's really what it is.
TRX is
crazy.
getting copped. I bet Hellcats disappear all the time.
Yeah.
I think it was the most stolen car for last year.
Really?
It's TRX?
No, just
Dodge.
Hellcats.
Hellcats? Hellcats.
Anything
Yeah.
with a Hellcat motor in it? Trackhawk.
Think of Hellcat activities. Those type of people and stuff like that. That doesn't doubt that they're their most stolen car. Like,
Yeah.
He's trying to get canceled.
300 credit
I
score
didn't say
activities.
anything.
No,
Yeah.
it's a Tim. 300 credit score activities.
Exactly. What do you want me to say? I'm not
392
identifying
credit
these type
score
of group of
activities.
people.
Yeah, these guys are putting the credit score on the side of the cars.
Yeah.
But getting back to it, that's why I couldn't
Horsepower
own
on
a
one
Urus.
side, credit score on the other.
The amount of Uruses that I see in Orange County, the reason why I wouldn't want to own one. I think it's a really cool car. But I think honestly, if I had, you know, a hypothetical 250, 300 grand that I wanted to go and throw at an SUV, I think it probably would be a Cullinan.
I'm a G63 whore. I'd say it.
Yeah, they're just so slow. That's the thing that pissed me off. Here's a story. Here
Let's
we go.
hear it.
So
Say it, mate.
before the RS6, I was hellbent.
Good one.
I was hellbent on buying a G-Wagon. And I had wanted to buy a local one from a dealership that I shall not name.
Okay.
An authorized Mercedes dealership, an actual one. Again, that I shall not name.
Yeah.
It was perfect spec. It was satin black like factory satin black exterior, full red interior, carbon trim, tits.
How recent
Really
is
nice.
this?
Yeah.
Huh?
How recent was this?
Which is
6 months
every
ago?
other G63 that rolls off the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like
For
one
good
of like,
reason.
one of like four
it's
others.
It's the best.
But this one was priced so low. I couldn't figure out why. I didn't think there's no way for it to have like a mileage stopper. I don't think it was a 21, had 13,000 miles, and I wanted 160 for it.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Stupidly cheap.
Really
Stupidly
cheap.
cheap. A friend of mine said
That's
it to me.
cheap now.
I know. Yeah. So I got the Carfax for it. One owner, a local lady from Newport Beach, I guess, owned it. So I'm thinking, okay, it hasn't been bastardized, whatever. I go to test drive it. The salesman that I was with, super nice guy, bless his heart. I told him, I'm like, hey, you know, I've driven a ton of these before. Can I just drive it around? He's like, I have to come with you. I said, okay, no problem. I go to hop in the driver's seat. He's like, no, I'll back it up. Okay, whatever. This guy goes to back it out on my right hand to go. He backs it out. He clips the G-Wagon on the left of him and then backs it into another car behind to then get it out. He fucked up 3 cars that did. The car that I wanted to see, the G-Wagon next to it, and then the C-Class behind.
That's wild.
How good his ass
Dude.
shoot out.
And so I go inside and I'm sitting with them. Like, dude, I really wanted the car.
Right.
I really wanted it. And so the GM came out, or I don't know if it was a GM or one of the managers, and he's like, dude, give you $1,000 off.
$1,000 off? That's it?
$1,000 off.
You're like, I know you
was like-
can't paint match this Magno paint.
Yeah, you're not paint matching.
Satin's not easy to fucking paint match.
No.
So
No.
no.
I said, you know what? I'm gonna go buy something else. But that was probably two accidents, two cars, or actually 3 cars, including the one I was in, that got fucked up.
There's no
Like-
way that salesman stayed there. There's no way.
I hope he kept his job. I felt bad for him.
They have so much insurance for that stuff, too.
Yeah,
There's the time they lose on that.
it was like an
For
older
sure.
guy. It was an
For
older
sure.
guy too.
Older
It was probably like 60s. But he
Oh,
was a very nice guy. He was super apologetic.
How
But
do you clip all those cars? You know what I saw on the way down here?
Huh.
Was the brand new C63S, the 4-cylinder one with the
Oh, that dog shit
with a
one there?
Michigan
Deal
manufacturer plate.
manufacturer play. Oh, that's
Yeah.
serious. Yeah, they're trying to like show it around to everyone in Orange County that doesn't want to buy it.
Probably, yeah. It was- like, it's so funny. Car manufacturers, it seems like nobody knows what people want these
Yeah.
days. You look at like car manufacturers, you look at Hollywood, the movies and shows they're making these days, and then you look at car manufacturers. They're playing the same game.
Nobody
making
knows
things
what
nobody
anyone wants.
making
Yeah.
things nobody wants.
How do you
when
gauge
in
what
reality
people want?
It's literally so easy.
Well,
How do you do it?
I'm okay.
Pay attention
I think
to
like this much.
So what metric is what I'm
What
asking?
if you're selling a performance sedan? In what world? It does not matter how much horsepower is in it. In what world do you think people want a turbo 4-pot?
it's deep. No, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's pleasing the average consumer versus pleasing the enthusiast, and it's not knowing which to do.
Exactly.
The issue is
Knowing your
now
fucking market. That's the whole thing.
The issue is now they want to market the G6 or not the C63 towards more than just the ultra high end consumer. They want to market it to people that are eco-friendly or somewhat eco-friendly. The guy that his wife is upset at him for not buying an electric car and buying a gas guzzler. Oh no, sweetie, it's not a gas guzzler. It's a 4-cylinder hybrid, but it's still a C63. And also appeasing the social justice warriors online. Oh, get rid of the V8s. We hate the V8s.
Is there so much like basic like, oh, but I'm gonna get backlash from these communities that they almost like they have to make these little adjustments that screws over like the smaller percentage, like you said, the enthusiast, the smaller percentage of us. That's the only fucking difference.
See that big ass bee just drop?
It's a June bug.
It's a June bug.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
You don't got those down under, eh?
Fucking no, we don't, mate.
You got much bigger fish to fry than that one.
Big fucking spiders.
Oh, yeah.
Your face, mate.
Take your face off.
What the fuck is happening right now?
We just went full Australian.
He told me he had a good Aussie accent, and he does.
He's not bad, eh?
Bloody oath.
I'm
all right.
two fucking Australians all of a sudden.
You're outnumbered.
What's the craziest shit you guys have in Australia? Non-car question.
Like Mambas.
The women. No, I'm just kidding.
That's great.
Politics.
The politics, but no, there's actually a lack thereof. Actually,
Really?
it's nice. I go to Australia. I don't have to worry about people asking about politics. It's because everything in Australia is just equally fucked. No matter what happens, everything's fucked. So politics don't really matter too much. It's just everything about Australia is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Really?
I enjoy it. Yeah.
It sounds like there's a huge car community out there too.
There is, yeah.
We were sitting down with Alex from Gintani, and he was telling me they're building out like a whole thing out there too. So
in Australia, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? The dude that crazy lifted his one of his hypercars up in like the penthouse scene.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
You know what I'm talking about?
Adrian,
that
someone.
That one.
Yeah,
that one.
Gotcha.
He's going out there to build a couple crazy Aventadors, and then I think they're launching a shop out there as well.
Yeah, so he's going to build something for Beyond Custom. I know that for Lawrence Escalante, who he has owed I think he's owed like a turbo kit to him for a long time. I know it's been hard to get that out there, so I'm glad that that's finally getting done. There's a lot of like hidden money in Australia, but it's weird money. It's internet money, or it's like mining money, or very, very, very old generational money. You don't see this kind of stuff in Australia. You don't. You see new money, but not from shops. Like the problem with Australia, I think, is that there isn't enough. There aren't enough mass consumers to launch a ton of any kind of business and have it be as successful as here. You're working with the population. I think again, don't quote me. I'm fairly certain the population of LA is equal to the population in the entirety of Australia. I think it's like right under 30 million or something.
I just looked this up because I was telling someone this literally this week. As weird as that is. LA's it's like 30 million and LA's like 23.
Yeah. So it's like,
if you look at Southern California, it's like the same.
Yeah. So Southern California to the entirety of Australia. Mind you, everyone thinks of Australia as this like kind of smallish continent. It is the same size as the US. It's the same size as North America. Yes, it is huge.
That's your country, dog?
Yeah.
That's
massive.
Crazy.
Funny story.
Whatever you want.
Funny story about Australian money. Where I was on my honeymoon with my wife, we made some friends that were Australians at the resort we were at.
Sorry.
Oh, well, they were really cool. We had a good time.
You thought they were Americans? You saw tattoos, white guys, you walked up to them and you heard them talk, you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Anyway, they're like, we're farmers, farmers. And we're like, oh, cool. Humble. And, as we kind of got to know them throughout the week, the stories they're telling and stuff, we're like, these guys have money. Like money.
My family in Australia farmers as well.
And so then not like
that, though.
The resort we were at, there was no service. No Wi-Fi, no nothing. So we disconnect type trip. And then as soon as we get Wi-Fi at the airport, we look up their names. Sold their livestock company for $400 million. We're like, oh,
that makes a lot of sense.
Farmers, right? Yeah. Of course.
That's great. Yeah, my dad's side of the family of farmers. Not like $400 million farmers, but it's been a generational thing. Like my dad's side immigrated from Germany to Australia. So my last name is Wehr, so it's very Wehr, very German. they migrated to Australia, and I think there's been like five generations there probably at this point, 4 or 5, maybe 6. I don't know. Don't quote me. But yeah, they're farmers in South Australia, which is predominantly wine country, but grains and things like that.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
a bunch of Shiraz.
Shiraz, yeah. So my dad's side is from the Barossa Valley,
You
which
light
is like Shiraz capital.
Yeah. Or
So-
Syrah, as we like to say here everywhere else in the world.
I think Shiraz and Shiraz is a more bold term than Shiraz. I think a Shiraz is specific tasting notes that a Syrah. Like, I don't know.
You sound like you might know.
I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy. Okay. I
No,
don't know.
bullshit.
You're just a guy that drinks
I'm
grape
full of-
juice occasionally.
Yeah, I drink. Yeah,
Nice little red every shot.
yeah, boozy grape juice. No, I like wine for sure. I'm actually going back in a month, which I'm really excited for. I love going back. But it's so funny because every time that I do go back to Australia, it makes me realize how slow not every other country, but that country progresses. Like the same shit that was playing on the radio 13 fucking years ago when I left is still playing on the radio when I go back.
I kissed a girl and I liked it.
Yeah. It's like Katy Perry, Nickelback, like Blink 182. Like no shade, but
Hey, there are only 2 types of people when it comes to Nickelback: fans and liars.
no, Nickelback's good. You can't hate on them.
Fucked up.
Aside from the
I
fact-
got it, but you got me so fucked up.
Aside from the fact that every song sounds the same, like they had a chokehold on 2009, man.
Categorize me as a liar, and I'm the biggest
You're-
fucking liar.
you're a
on that
liar.
thing.
Yeah, they're the Nicolas Cage of bands.
No, bro.
Yo,
No.
that's a great analogy.
No.
That's fantastic.
No.
Yeah, no, it's you can't hate them too much.
No, of course not.
I don't have the money in my playlist, but when they come on the radio, like I'm not gonna switch channels
We gotta
right away.
crank
I'm
that up.
switching channels.
Really?
Yes, bro.
The radio.
To Katy Perry.
Probably.
I'm not on a channel to begin with.
Yeah, I'm on Spotify. I'm on Spotify.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Dude, so what's the next car? Or what are you working towards?
That's a tough question.
There's always something in the works.
Yeah, everyone's got a hit list, right?
Everyone has a hit list.
So
And it's
it
in kind of somewhat of an order.
was a 750 for me, and I was hoping to have one of the first ones here. Ended up canning that idea.
You weren't ready to lose 200 grand?
No, that car looks like shit as well. Here's the thing as well.
Front end, they fucked up the front end.
I wanted to buy that car to build it as like a 1016 demo car.
Mhm.
I would have changed the front bumper and the rear bumper. So why am I not buying a 720 is
Right.
the real question, but it's already been done to a 720. So that platform is kind of out. I think honestly, realistically within the next year, 765, or maybe an Aventador SV.
Nice.
That's kind of the vibe. I will be placing an order for sure on the Huracan replacement. That will eventually replace the R8.
You know how to say
So-
it yet or no?
Isn't it like the Tormento or some shit?
Tamario?
Timanadio.
Timadadio?
Yeah, it's
Timadadio.
it's officially the Huracan replacement. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even when I figure out what the fuck it's called, it's still gonna be the Huracan
Italian for
replacement.
The
bullshit is what it
10,000
is.
RPM Timadadio.
Yeah, the V8 turbo. We'll see. I mean, it looks like a very pretty car. It looks kind of like the slightly retarded younger brother of the Revuelto so far,
Yeah.
which is okay. Like
Have you seen it?
I have. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Well, sorry. I've seen the leaks. I haven't seen the actual car
you've
yet.
seen the camoed car.
I've seen the camoed car.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen the actual car yet. No.
You haven't seen camo removed.
No.
Yeah.
It's gonna look crazy. Bro.
It definitely
gonna
looks
look
like it's
crazy.
gonna look crazy.
So one of my contracts with my agency is with VF Engineering, and part of that is shooting the race series for Lamborghini Super Trofeo. So there's a lot of really cool people that you get to brush shoulders with in that part of which includes the Lamborghini corporate guys like Stefan Winkelmann, CEO. You get to Mitya Bokert, all the kind of higher up designers and, you know, the people that run Lamborghini, and the VAG guys from Volkswagen Group and all that stuff. So my thought is that they'll probably show the car in a private setting. I know it's going to be at
Car Week.
a Car Week for sure. That's already been confirmed.
Probably a Goodwood in some back room right now too.
Yeah.
I don't think so that's the only concern that I have, because I was talking to one of the local guys who I shan't name for leaking information from a local dealership, and he was saying that for sure it's going to be at Car Week. This was a few months ago. The fact that it's not at Goodwood is slightly alarming, because you would think that Europe would have it before the US. Mind you, I know that it would be shown, you know, in California is kind of a flagship market for for Lamborghini and for other auto manufacturers. But I think that if it was going to be shown at Car Week, or if it is going to be, I don't think it's going to be a running driving model.
No.
That's the thing. I mean, I understand Goodwood. Like I was there last year. 1016 did an exhibit there, did a booth, and I was lucky enough to be able to go, which was fucking amazing. And they had the Revolta there, but the Revolta was running and driving at that point. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I really hope it is at Car Week because I'll be going to Quail, and I really want to see that car. So we shall see. The Revolta's an animal though.
Crazy. Talk about that. You got the opportunity to drive one, though.
Yeah. So, the guys at Lambo Newport were gracious enough to give it to my dad and I for the day for Cars and Coffee. We met them up there early morning on Saturday, and they allowed us to drive it down to the show and beat the car up a little bit. Shouldn't say beat it up. Properly enjoy it.
Right.
Is the right term. And that car is phenomenal. I mean, it's faster for sure than an SVJ. It's, I mean, undoubtedly, like leaps and bounds faster. Much smoother power delivery from the hybrid system because I mean, with the V12, you have to really rev them to get anything noticeable out of them. So the low end torque is a lot more noticeable. And revving out to like 9,500 or 10,000 RPM is just crazy. And finally having a dual clutch trans is just it's the cherry on top. I've driven a ton of SVJs, and I think it's a really cool platform. The sound is great, but you take away the sound, and it's a shit car aside from that. My personal opinion, I know I've openly said that, and I'll get a lot of hate for it, but I think you take away the sound of that car, it's clunky shifting, it's huge, the technology's old. It looks cool, for sure, but again, it's a 12, 13-year-old platform at this point.
So are you describing an SVJ or an LFA?
Both. Yeah, the LFA is overhyped for sure.
Yeah,
I think it sounds good, but that car is like all the TikTok like spotter boys love that.
It
car.
only sounds good when it's screaming too.
Yeah, but I think even when that's a Yamaha developed V10, isn't it? So it's bound to sound good. I mean, an acoustics company
For sure.
Put their hands on it, yeah.
So that makes sense. But I think that car is overhyped. But the Revolta is fantastic. It is blisteringly fast. The technology is I don't want to say it's unparalleled because there's a lot of other cars that have cool tech, but it's very advanced technology.
How'd the interior feel as far as like?
It's intimate. It's very intimate.
It looks very simple.
It is. Yeah. You have the full digital dash, which is nice. And then you have kind of like a secondary display in the middle, like the Huracan Evo. And then you have a passenger display as well, which shows you could toggle through what it says. So it'll either be like RPM and gear, or you can change it to music or whatever else you want to put on there. So it's really neat. It is very driver focused though. The screen's tilted slightly towards the driver. The cockpit in general, I don't want to be insulting and say that it's kind of like C8-esque, but the way that it's set up is
not
very
insulting, big guy. That's not insulting.
Would it be closer to like a 720?
in terms of the it would be. That's actually
I feel like that screen, that little screen is kind of similar, slightly tilted.
Spot on. Yeah, that's a great comparison. Yeah, so it's 720-esque.
Yeah.
But the power delivery is phenomenal, and it's something that I feel like the previous generation really missed. It's not as raw, obviously, because you have the hybrid assist, but I think also I was dealing with a very tame early version of that car. You know, looking at comparing a base Aventador with the stock exhaust compared to a final iteration of an SVJ with an exhaust, completely different worlds.
Yeah.
So I think I'm excited for the trim variations of that car. You know, the S, the SV, the SVJ, whatever they decide to go with, which I think will be great. I'm also very excited to show what 1016 is doing with that car. That is going to be fantastic. That car is beautiful.
And you get a 1016 kit on the outside, and then you get Gintani to twin turbo it.
Absolutely not.
Put in exhaust.
Absolutely not. It'll be a VF kit.
Oh, of course.
Come on.
The VF is going to make a V12 kit?
Nothing I can confirm officially.
Oh.
Nothing you can confirm or deny, but definitely is happening.
I plead the fifth.
There it is. I don't. It's definitely.
I can't assume that VF is going to make a V12 kit.
I'm NDA'd.
Yeah, I'll assume up the ass that they're definitely going to make some shit like that.
Hey, I didn't know.
You got to stay ahead of the game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
they're for sure going to do that.
What am I supposed to deny it? Like, I'm not going to confirm it.
Of course.
The fuck am I supposed to say?
It didn't look pretty, James. That's it.
We got a couple questions for you that everyone gets.
Shoot.
Before we I got one more question for you before we get to those. This is how it always goes.
It is.
We got the guest questions, but then I'm like, but there's one more question before we get there. I gotta ask.
Hit it.
Okay.
So, tailored more just to you, not every guest.
Okay.
So from running, how do I want to say this? From running South OC Cars and Coffee, what's the craziest story you have from that?
Shit. Where do I begin?
We're talking about a giant weekly meet. I know some crazy stuff happens.
Wild shit.
And I mean, we've been incredible show. It usually stays really tame, like very respectful, all that. But of course, when that many people show up, there's gonna be some crazy stuff.
Craziest story. I mean, look, I'm gonna tell you the story that's gonna do well for the clip and for the views. All right, here we go. I would say the craziest thing that we've ever accomplished would be a 45,000 person show that we did in collaboration with Red Bull, which was nuts, where we featured an F1 car. But craziest story, fight broke out at Cars and Coffee, which got blasted on the internet. Like, it went mega viral, which I never wanted to happen. I mean, I run a free car show that I want people to come and hang out at. So I'm gonna say retards. Yeah. I know the internet doesn't like that word, but I don't give a fuck.
Okay, we don't care about
From Australia.
Yeah. two gentlemen. Two gentlemen.
Hasn't made canceled out there yet?
Yeah, they're 13
yeah,
years behind.
that's getting bleeped. Two guys fought over something very, I'm not gonna say it was stupid, because it wasn't, but in hindsight, neither of them knew what the other person was kind of upset about. So this guy in a Huracan, which I've come to find out was now supposedly a rented white Huracan with a flame tune on it, was acting like a dick. You know, mind you, the guys that show up in like a base Huracan 580 with no mods on it, aside from an exhaust, like, everyone knows, like, okay, that's so sick, dude. You have a 180-month finance Huracan that you put zero down on. Like, you look like a moron if you're revving it through the car show. Right. Like, especially South OC, because it's a quiet show. I've never wanted to be that show that, like, people are doing stupid shit at. So I have 32 signs throughout the property that say no revving, no speeding, no burnouts. This guy thinks he's too cool in his rented Huracan, so he's gonna do it. This guy walks past and he revs it and it shoots like a baby flame onto this guy's dog. Dick move number one.
Right.
Dick move number two was the guy walking the dog threw his coffee at the guy's Huracan. He didn't throw it. He had an open cup and splashed on it. So no, he didn't like throw a cup at it or anything, but he dirtied the guy's car. And what ensued was some guy, the guy in the Huracan, getting out and like punching the guy that threw the coffee, and they beat each other up for a second. And the guy that threw the coffee punched the Huracan. Like, he beat the shit out of the Huracan. And that in general opened up an entire can of shit that I had to deal with the property, with the city, with maintaining social media as a whole. Like, dude, it was fucking crazy. And I now find out, I'm not going to say who he is or what he drives, but the guy that was punching the Huracan, everyone in the, I'm going to preface this by saying everyone in the comments of the bystander that posted to social media, because I sure shit didn't post that. Some random guy recording did. Everyone in the comments is like, oh, the guy that threw his coffee's jealous that he doesn't have a Huracan, this, that, and the other. Everyone thinks that the guy in the Huracan has money, the other guy's broke. The guy that was in the Huracan was renting it, and the guy that threw the coffee has like a multi-million-dollar car collection. I'm like tens of millions of dollars worth of cars.
This might be the dumbest question to ask about this story. What kind of dog was it?
It was a tiny little, like, I don't know, it's like a Shih Tzu or something.
That explains it all.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know.
Tiny little thing.
You have a grown-ass man with $1 million car collection walking a Shih Tzu. Of course he's going to get pissed about flame hits.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure people don't realize how much you probably have to deal with running that show.
Yeah.
Because you'll get fined. You'll get all, I mean, you get fined for stuff, no? If someone does
happened.
stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
you still have hair amazes me, to be honest with you.
The way I still have hair.
Yeah.
Hair plugs, turkey. Love it. No, I'm just kidding.
Plug me. 'Cause I'm
Hey, you know what's coming? I'm receding already. Part of that's having a beautiful Latina wife, but the rest of it's running that damn car show. I'm totally kidding. I love my wife. She's my fiance is phenomenal. She doesn't stress me out, but The car show sure as hell does.
My girl's Latina too, but I was bald way before that. So, but it is, yeah.
She's not the first Latina.
Yeah, I can't say that.
I'm starting problems.
I can't say. I can't confirm or deny that.
My wife is a quarter, so it's not enough.
That's all you need, though.
Yeah.
That's all.
See, mine's only half.
Puerto Rican.
Sprinkle is all you need.
Mine's only half. She's half Latina and half white. So the Latina crazy balances out the white crazy, and she's just like
what kind of Latina? This is very important.
So initially from Spain, but migrated from Mexico.
That's a very important factor.
Yes.
So she went from Spain to Mexico, and then Mexico to here.
Well, so she was born here, but her family migrated from Spain to Mexico and then Mexico to here.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's a tamer side of Latin.
She is. She's
Very tamer
phenomenal.
side.
I had a girlfriend before that, a white chick the only white chick that I should say the last one that I dated that actually stabbed me when I broke up with her.
A white girl that stabbed you.
She stabbed me.
A white girl with emotions.
Scissors.
Wow.
Yes.
Stabbed you with scissors.
Says she stole a bunch.
Sounds like Latina activities.
She stole. I know Latina activities. Yeah, yeah. It's like Hellcat activities all over. Oh fuck. Yeah, she stabbed me with scissors. She stole my camera equipment. Like this is when I was like just starting to get in photography. I tried to break up with her. She stole my camera equipment because she's like, "Fuck you! You're not breaking up with me. You can't have this back until you agree to take me back."
Right.
And I knew her roommate, and her roommate let me in. And she came home from like doing laundry or whatever because like she lived in some shit ass apartment complex, just horrible, and like the laundry was like far away, so she had to like go to like the common laundry room. Came back, found out that I was in the apartment, like grabbing my hoodies out of her closet, grabbing whatever out like that she had of mine, and fucking like just grabbed scissors out of the kitchen. Like if you go past me, I'm gonna fucking stab you. I was like, all right, whatever, bet, like try me. And she actually did. She stabbed me in the arm and in the leg.
She got you?
She got me
Twice.
Yeah, the arm.
She stabbed him. She did a that.
Yeah.
Holy heck, dude!
Was it
that
like this, or was it
really
like
does
this?
wonders, huh?
It was like this.
It was like this.
Huh?
That accent really does wonders, huh?
Dude, it was crazy.
The
That's
accent
wild.
with girl's crazy.
She's like a giga thought now. She has OnlyFans. Yeah.
Ah,
can't get that.
you could have an SVJ right now, James.
Oh, yeah, but you were still managing that. You could
I can still have an SVJ. Doesn't mean the girl that I'm with has to be posting shit online, man. Fuck. No, I'm sure she's normal now. This was almost 6 years ago, so I'm sure she's in a much better place now.
Yeah.
But that place that sucked.
I can only
That
imagine.
sucked.
That's a
tabbed
It's
from.
okay though. Bigger and better.
it builds character.
No, it did for sure. Because I realized that I couldn't date white women anymore. Like I had to move on from it.
I feel you.
Yeah, I was crazy. But
Back to the cars.
yeah,
For real.
yeah, back to the cars. Yeah, no, that whole thing with cars and coffee, I have to deal with some interesting stuff. I think not a commonly known thing. I actually have a lease for that area that I use, which we acquired recently, but I have a conditional use permit through the city, which allows me to use that space. And I'm permitted to have 52 weeks of shows every year. And I can have a certain amount of cars, certain amount of people, and I just have to fall within the noise ordinances and make sure that the traffic is properly taken care of and we have appropriate, security and whatever. So that's kind of the one side of it. The other side is I was working on like a handshake agreement from the outlets beforehand, and finally we'd said, hey, look, we want to officiate things. We also want to be able to do booths because that's a massive handicap on revenue for us. These brands we want to work with want us to be able to have physical activations at the show, and it was heavily limited before because I wasn't a paying tenant. So there were certain handicaps on what I could do. So now that I'm a paying tenant, I have free use to do whatever I want in the property from the hours of 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. So puts me in really good standing. So
For sure.
it took a long time to get that
You
through,
get
but
really creative with that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
lifted a massive weight.
Yeah.
For sure. So put us in a good position.
So let's run it up then, baby.
Yeah. Hey man, you know what? That's what we're trying to do.
Say less.
So that's that show. I think there's definitely I don't want to say there's an earning cap on it, but there is definitely a cap as to what I can do efficiently with it. But that show more so, my dad and I both own automotive businesses. His is in accessories, mine's in services. So we use that event to market our own personal brands, which we then go off and we source clients from our show.
Yeah.
And that's been extremely lucrative. It's been great.
sure.
It's set me up really well. And I continue to do it to this day, and it's organic, and people already know me from the show, so I already have that pre-built trust and solidified character, of who I am, people know, and it makes doing business a lot easier because a lot of the time it's people that I've known for 5-6 years at this point. They've been coming to my show. I've been welcoming them every week, and like, hey, I sell wheels, I sell tires, I sell, I make, in the case of 1016, hey, I make body kits. Let's see what we can do together. In the case of VF, VF, I was scouted at that show as well. The owner, Nick, who's super nice guy, I've had a great relationship with him since. He's, I took photos of his car because I personally shoot all the content for our Instagram. It's kind of like my own little.
I saw you shooting the wire last time we were there.
Yep. Trying to get all the TikTok kids out of the way. I love it. But I'll take photos of these people's cars. I'll send them to them, and they're like, hey, I want to do something more formal. Do you think you could help me out outside of Cars and Coffee? And it's been great. Super lucky.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's lots of fun.
B100 with me. Would I make it into Exotics Row?
Yes.
Really?
Because it's unique.
What?
Okay.
Are you saying no? There can't be fucking.
Let us tell the story. All right.
No,
bro. See it. Come on. I know you've been wanting to yell at me this whole
No disrespect to
time.
Gavin at all in any sense, but there's no way you're letting that in, and you didn't let me in the damn Z06.
Here's the thing.
Well, there's only one Advantage that's going to show up, and there's going to be a million Corvettes.
Here's the thing. And
it comes down to.
So in case the viewers didn't know, our first interaction was when you came to Cars and Coffee in a brand new C8 Z06, which looking back in time, I probably should have put the fucking thing in the front row. And I would have had I knew you. But this is my first time meeting you or seeing you in the car. And general rule of thumb is I'm not going to let C8s in the front row.
I respect it.
Unless I know the person, because if I let one person, I have to let everyone in. If I let one guy with a Z06, then I have to let in the other 150 people that come through in their base C8s with their little window sticker of what their rare spec is. Oh, it's one of one because it was made on a Tuesday by this one guy who no longer.
It's how it is. Tuesday.
Yeah, but honestly, the reason I would let that in is because my Exotics Row isn't just based on rare. It's not just based on rarity or dollar figure. It's based on the uniqueness of the car, and that's not a car that I have there very often.
That's fair.
And it falls into the exotic category, so therefore I would let it in. Similarly, I would also let in like an Alpha 8C. 4C I wouldn't.
Oh, well, the 8C is a $400,000 car.
Exactly, but it's also a car that most people walk past and they're like, oh, okay, it's an Alpha. It's like, cool, I'm going to let that in. Same way I wouldn't let in a G63, but I might let in like a G65 or like a 4x4 squared with a crazy kit on it.
Or a Brabus rocket or some shit like that.
Yeah. One of the fake ones that's in the US.
Or a Rizvani Jeep.
All the fake ones in the US.
Rizvani Jeep, no.
No?
You know
No
why?
respect for the Rizvani.
No, I do have a lot of respect for that car, but it's too big.
Yeah.
It's way too big.
It's massive.
That's fair.
Your decision was nothing. It was nothing that bothered me about it was the decision. What killed me, and Gavin can attest to this, we pull over to the next row, and I'm like, cool, you know what? It's fine. I get it. He's got to do what he's got to do. It's cool. We walk through Exotics Row, and there's a freaking burgundy on tan interior Z06 just sitting right dead in the middle. The most old man spec. I have white with deep blue interior. My shit is hot, and I literally go, what did I do to James? I go, what did I do to James?
That guy is the U.S. Director of Sales for GM.
Ah, there you go.
I ain't shit.
So you told us he snuck in.
So he had that car. I don't know if it was on demo or what it was, but he normally drives a 2020 Evo all-wheel drive.
Okay.
Huracan Evo.
Nice.
So he brought that in. And honestly,
it's been a great time to park them next to each other.
I know, but you know what? Here's the thing. I didn't know that was in there. And I didn't know until you told me. And I'm like, why the fuck is there a C8 in my front row? What is going on?
I was
too late now. It's in park.
I was peed for like 2 minutes. And I go, you know what? Fuck it. It's got to do what I gotta do. We're walking through the thing and I look and I'm like, wait a second. I saw the spec and I go, what the fuck? That's why I lost it out there.
And I remember you were straight up with me too, which I respect. You asked me like, why the fuck I can't come in, but that guy can come in? Like, there's no C8s in the front row. And you're like, yeah, there is. There's one right here. I was like, fuck, I didn't know.
Look, that guy snuck in. I didn't see him.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was funny. I'm sorry for all of you.
It was a great first setup to made like a great, and like the fact that we're now sitting down here and talking about it, it makes a great thing.
Oh,
we were
for
to make a meme out of it. The meme went viral. It was all fun and games and shit like that.
You made one of the funniest memes out of it. That then I had to like write a formal response because I was getting tagged in it so much. You're like when the South OC Cars and Coffee doesn't let you in because you're in a C8, or what? You don't let in your Z06.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, dude.
Peter Griffin.
The meme, because it was so relatable, because the way Peter's like, I just want to talk to him. I get out of the car, I was like, where's the guy at? Gavin's like, who? I was like, where's the guy? I was like, who runs the fucking show? It was perfect, bro.
Dude, it was funny. It was, yeah.
Go back to January.
Yeah, literally.
Was it that long ago?
That was January.
You're
bro.
right, because that was the first Will episode.
Yeah.
Crazy. It was like right when I got back from Christmas.
My
and stuff.
bad.
Holy crap. Dude, time has been flying by.
Yeah.
I'm getting old.
Now
So am I, dude. I'm turning 25 next month.
It was just. I almost said now it's just a funny
26,
story,
it's
but it was a
soft.
funny story for me the whole time.
I was like, you're just enjoying
I'm
it.
29. The
Damn,
old
you're
guy
old.
in the
How
room,
old are you?
yeah.
26?
Yeah.
I'm old too, dog. Don't
Yeah, we're both old.
Yeah. Well,
Both old.
Super old. All of us. Wow.
We're old as shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Sorry to anyone listening in their 40s right now.
Yeah, I know, for real. Sorry, John.
I think 40-year-olds listen. The 40-year-olds listen to podcasts. I'm sure they do actually.
Oh, bro, you kidding me? Our comments, stuff like that, was old ass men in our comments that live.
Are you guys posting on Facebook?
Yeah.
Shorts? You should be. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Everything that goes on Instagram goes to Facebook.
Yeah, you know what? It's so
Directly.
funny. Like some of the content that we make for VF Engineering goes bonkers on Facebook.
Yeah,
Goes
Facebook
nuts.
is big. Especially when you like start to get a following
It's like the
too.
smooth brain stuff though. It's like the just like slow walk around of the car. That's like that's the stuff that
that
pops
crowd
up.
appreciates.
Bro, I had-
an appreciation for that type of content.
Yes.
I just flipped on post to Facebook on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then just never touched it. And I come back one day and with like 8,000 followers.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? And I started scrolling through the videos. I'm like, what did this?
Yeah.
And it was like the clip of Eric that went the voodoo. They went stupid on
Titanium
on
exhaust.
Yelling
titanium
at-
exhaust on
pie cuts.
yeah, on Instagram. It was literally that video sitting right here.
Was he talking about Inconel or something? Yeah.
Talking about
Yeah.
titanium.
Dude,
not
he
the
is
best
a
metal.
character. I fucking love Eric. He's so funny.
Eric's
I have his exhaust from RA. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Oh yeah,
Did a
but
very, very good job.
goes
That exhaust has been great. I had a horrible Soul Performance exhaust that was so loud that the interior of my car started rattling. And I had to get some of it like warranted. And they're like, dude, it's the exhaust. Like, take it off.
Wow.
So Eric made me a center exit with like my name in the middle, which
Yeah.
I love.
Eric's
So
a go.
cool.
Eric's a go.
Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, we got to wrap it up.
Let's do it.
So we've
Guess
got now you get the formal questions.
Okay.
Rapid fire guest question.
Yeah, everyone gets these.
Okay.
3
So
questions.
maybe you have an idea. 'cause
Kevin doesn't
post them
judge. I judge a shit ton. So base that on your answer.
I judge as well. Don't worry, I judge.
Judge yourself. So, what's the most overrated car today?
Oh, LFA.
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 Easy.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's just, I mean, it's not all that. It's a cool car. It sounds pretty. It's rare. I get it.
It's rare because no one wanted it.
Yeah, it's just, it's a car that
Burn.
it's not terribly fast. It's a Lexus at the end of the day. It's just, it's one of those cars that it's like,
it's dog water.
Is the LC500 a better looking car than the LFA?
no.
No.
Honestly, this is going to be controversial. I love the RCF, the older RCFs.
Really?
I think that's probably my favorite looking Lexus.
Yeah.
Lexuses are
Yeah, one of my
Four-door?
the 2-door.
The two-door.
Or yeah, that's like the GSF and the ISF. I think.
Oh yeah, the ISF.
Yeah, one of my good
The
friends,
R-
and also
the
my
RCF.
CPA. So good friend and CPA he had a RCF with crazy headers on it. And just, I think it was a
Nasty.
blast, dude. Air ride. Let me drive it back from Monterey.
One with the
It's-
carbon like hood and the carbon wings, pretty sick.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, LFA has to be overrated. Either that or the SVJ.
I respect
Hate
it.
to say it. Hate to say it.
Why is that? Oh, well, you already said it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Take away the sound and it's nothing.
Yeah, I mean it's a very cool looking car, and I understand the hype of what the Aventador is, but I don't think it's $1 million car, and it's not a car that like I would be sprinting through a car meet to get a video of,
Sir,
Mhm.
what's the most underrated car today?
Oh, that's a tough one. I have to go with the 992 Turbo S. I think that car is just I don't want to say it's too underrated, but I think it still falls into like the underrated category. It shits on most supercars. It is so comfortable. The sound is great. At the price point, like it's
The sound can be great.
no, they sound good stock.
Really?
I think they sound good stock. They're not very
Bro, you didn't
loud.
even bring your tequila. You're fucking tripping. What are you talking
No,
about?
I don't. No. I don't think that they sound bad stock. If you
He
throw,
said I don't judge, but
you throw down
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
You're judging on this.
No,
one?
they don't. They don't sound bad, but
yeah.
you throw downpipes and software at them, they're like 800 horsepower. They're fucking great. Peter from 1016 owned one, and I had a blast driving that car. It was great.
Last one.
Right.
Okay, you got an unlimited budget to build out a 3-car garage. All you get is 3 cars.
Okay.
For today. Let's hear it.
2RS, Pista, YRBC.
All right.
Nasty fucking garage.
Yeah.
I like
So you're Pagani over Koenigsegg.
I'm not Pagani over Koenigsegg, but I think Koenigsegg is a better car. I think I would have more fun driving a Pagani though.
Yeah.
I think the sensory experience from driving a Pagani has to be a lot better. I haven't driven either. Honestly, I've never driven a Koenigsegg or a Pagani, but I think that
you
would
will
be a visceral. I hope so. I think it's going to be a visceral driving
those
experience.
opportunities will come.
Experiencing a Pagani.
Yeah.
Either YRBC or a Zonda. I would say like a Zonda. Zonda R. Zonda.
Yeah.
Yeah. That has to be.
Give me that Zonda Cinque.
Yeah, the Cinque is cool. Crazy. Or like one of the crazy one-off ones, like the one that Lewis Hamilton has fucked up like 5 times.
Oh, that car, that might be the best. That might be my favorite Zonda.
Either that or, you know what, actually?
Because I like purple.
Or the other wire I would do is that last one they just released. It has that the manual trans in it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The most recent one.
Yeah, it's like a one-off that they did.
Yeah.
It's a wire with that manual. Yeah. That has to be the 3-car garage.
I respect it.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And if I need to hold the kids, I'll take multiple cars. Don't care.
Fuck it. Push it. We got to do what we got to do.
Gotta do it. Tow them in a trailer. Don't care. Don't care.
Well, you're the first person to just say, I don't care. So that's good. More power to you.
Yeah. At this point in time, I don't have kids. It's my fiance and I.
Yeah.
We'll
make it work.
I'm loving 2-seaters.
Yep.
I'm loving 2-seaters.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
I had
I
fun.
appreciate it. It was great.
I hope you had fun.
I had a lot of fun. It was good.
You want to plug your socials?
Yeah, absolutely. Please follow me at South OC Cars and Coffee. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. It's probably I'm on TikTok, but I don't really post on TikTok. My personal account is at Wehr on Instagram at weh.r. And come out to South OC Cars and Coffee, largest weekly car show in the US. We're on every Saturday from 8:30 to 11 at the outlets at San Clemente. Come and support, and then make sure you guys follow Supercar Connections on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
If you have a C8 or a C806, please come in waves because we will rage at James next time. Please. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
We're
out.